Try again. It is November 4, 2020, and the nation is still waiting for the results of the 2020 presidential and senatorial elections. This is Protect the Results Update, a special report by Your California Today. I am Hannah Miyamoto, reporting the news today. First, breaking news. The National Protect the Results Coalition has decided to not activate its national network of coordinated protests today. This decision was taken because Joe Biden appears to be on track toward winning the presidential election, and Trump does not appear to be able to prevent the election from being concluded in a reasonably legitimate manner. This situation is subject to change. Stay alert for updates. Our top stories today. Key states remain to be decided, leaving the U.S. presidential election outcome undetermined. Scattered irregularities marred Election Day voting, with crucial Democratic-leaning districts affected. Wild claims and threats by Donald Trump have begun to confirm the alarming results from an earlier study on the potential for post-election disorder and violence. Those are the top stories. Now, let's get into it. Ballot counting continues across the nation, but especially in critical states that will decide the outcome. At the same time, Democratic hopes for taking control of the U.S. Senate faded as Republican candidates won crucial races. Now that Sarah Gideon has conceded to Susan Collins in Maine, previous calls for restoring balance to the federal courts may be moot. Scattered threats of violence and mysterious disruptions of voting marred the final day of voting yesterday. Although the level of violence and threats nationwide reflected predictions, reported incidents were much less serious and frequent than the most dire warnings before the election. Isolated and sporadic was how Kristen Clark, president of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, described voting issues on Election Day 2020. One of the most frightening incidents occurred in Charlotte, North Carolina, where 36-year-old Justin Dunn approached a polling location armed with a gun while a group of women leaders were delivering speeches urging people to vote. Upon the sudden appearance of the gunman, a Democratic congresswoman and a local mayor were among the dignitaries whisked away as a precaution. When he returned a couple hours later, Dunn was arrested for trespassing. In Graham, North Carolina, an Election Day march by a multiracial group of voters headed to a polling place was confronted by counter-protesters shouting white supremacist slogans. The white supremacists attacked the nonviolent demonstrators. The same protesters were attacked 2 days before with pepper spray by sheriff's deputies. In California, the most serious incident was probably the unauthorized voting location that Republican campaigns opened in Westminster, California, a town with a large population of people of Southeast ancestry. After complaints by local group Clarity OC, the Orange County District Attorney sent a team of investigators to the location and will determine whether any laws were violated. Perhaps the most mysterious incident occurred in Roseville, California, where someone painted blue dots on the streets outside the homes of people displaying Biden-Harris campaign signs. After checking with authorities that verified the marks were not connected to any imminent utility or surveying work, local Biden supporter Adam Quilishi told reporters, quote, "This is not just a smashed pumpkin on Halloween. This is like a message, and I'm not really okay with it." When Donald Trump claimed victory late last night in a speech from the White House, while threatening lawsuits to force all vote counting to cease, his action was similar to those predicted by the Transition Integrity Group study released this summer. Georgetown University law professor Rosa Brooks and University of California, Berkeley Associate Chancellor and History Professor Niels Gilman formed the Transition Integrity Project in 2019 to conduct experimental simulations of the 2020 presidential election and 2020 to 2021 transition period. Other members of the project included Michael Steele, former Republican National Committee Chair, John Podesta, former Chief of Staff to President Clinton, and conservative journalist David Frum. Specifically, the TIG group focused on the likelihood that Trump will disrupt ballot counting and abuse his presidential powers over law enforcement and the U.S. military. Also, the TIG examined the interplay between party leaders and other interest groups. In the post-voting period of a close election, such as the one that is now in progress, the team playing the Trump campaign invoked the Insurrection Act and sent federal paramilitaries into U.S. citizens to, quote, maintain order. A 4-part article on the CLM website about the Transition Integrity Group exercise, as well as a downloadable copy of the TIG study, are in the description below. Both documents are free. You will find them informative and instructive. This concludes Protect the Results Update today. To be informed when the next episode is posted, please subscribe to this channel and click the bell to receive notifications. Thank you. Stay calm and stay safe.